Jill Dandos' brother reveals what he thinks happened to her 20 years after murder. Mirror Online. Jill Dandos' brother Nigel Dando has opened up about what he thinks might have happened to her 20 years on from her murder. The brother of murdered BBC presenter Jill Dando fears the truth may never be revealed about her death, 20 years on. Nigel Dando shared his own theory about who killed his sister, after she was shot dead on her doorstep in 1999. At the time, amid theories including a professional hitman being hired to kill her, a suspect named Barry George was charged with her murder. He was later released after being cleared of all charges in 2008, with no other suspects arrested since then. Speaking about what he thinks really happened that day, Nigel said on Lorraine on Tuesday, "I tend to think it wasn't a professional hit. I think you can rule out the Serbian hitman, which was a popular theory that was doing the rounds at the time. For what it's worth, my belief is that it was just a misguided individual on the street on the day, with a firearm, who knew where Jill lived, and who just struck lucky. For whatever reason," Nigel went on to say, "I think it was a relatively random act given Jill's lifestyle at the time, as she wasn't regularly at home. You couldn't say that on the day in question, she had left her Fian Allen's home in Chiswick and had briefly gone to her home in Fulham to pick something up. Then I think she was off somewhere else in London for a fitting for her wedding dress. Of course they were going to get married shortly. So it was that ran on the investigation and his fears they'll never find her killer." He said the police carried out an exhaustive check of CCTV, as it existed then. They plotted Jill's there were photographs, she wasn't obviously being followed or anything like that. They were able to monitor thousands of phone calls being made in the area at the time at that area, and there was nothing that jumped out on that day. Neighbors talk of a strange man in the street. Whether it was that man who pulled the trigger, I guess we will never know now." Nigel added all avenues have to be investigated by police. "In the early days, the weeks have turned to months, and the months have turned to years, and the years have turned to decades, and no one has been convicted of Jill's murder." The Murder of Jill Dando airs at 9 p.m. on Tuesday on BBC One.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.